And we're live. Back at it again with another video. Welcome back on this beautiful Saturday. And we're going to talk about the current state of the market. Yeah, the McRib. McDonald's McRib is an indicator for the market, but it hasn't been going as expected. So I'm going to let everyone roll in, everyone kind of get comfy, and we're going to get started just right here. Yeah, let's do it. Cut the music off. We're back. Welcome back to the Crypto Compass. Thank you, Compass Cartel. That's what I like to call my fans for rolling in. Thank you for hopping in. As always, stay active in that chat. Blow that chat up, please. Excuse me. Blow up that chat. Please blow up that chat. Tell me how you feel about my comments, how you feel about the market, how you feel about anything. Just comment crypto in that chat, blow it up, and I will answer any questions that you have. But let's go ahead and kick it off. So we have the McRib. The McRib is a famous sandwich McDonald's releases. Me personally, I don't eat it. I'm not sponsored by McDonald's. I don't eat McDonald's. I don't do none of that. I am just telling you how it affects the markets. Specifically crypto, it has some play on the stock market, but it has a big bottom indicator when it comes to crypto, specifically Bitcoin. So let me actually show you this chart. It's a very interesting chart. Let me pull it up here. It's basically going to show you, okay, I have the McRib come out. McDonald's says McRib's coming out. And then boom, bottom in the market. And the next few months is just bullish, right? So let me share this with you, and then you can tell me how you feel about it. So here we have it, right? This is the McRib Indicator. That's what it's known as. So over here, if we see, the McRib returns. Every time the McRib returns, like here, boom, we got green candles. This is a monthly chart, I believe. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 bullish months. Right here, McRib returns. 1, 2, 3, 4 bullish months. McRib returns. 1, 2, 3. We'll kind of top out there, but literally here we're going from 20K up to almost 60, 3x in Bitcoin. Here we're going from, let's say 35 up to 70, 2x, right? Here we're going from 60 up to 100, so 80, 70, 80%. And then right here where the McRib returned just happened on the 11th, so 4 days ago. Who's to say what happens right now? I'll be completely honest. The market does not look good, like at all. The market looks like it's down. It's crashing. A lot of people are calling for a bear market. A lot of people already called the top in October. Like, it does not look good. I'm going to be completely honest, completely frank with you. The market does not look good. But me personally, I'm not just going to completely turn bearish. I truly feel like we can weather this storm, and it's just a temporary bear that will last a few months, maybe into the end of the year, and maybe in January we start to pick things up. Or we may have already bottomed because everyone was thinking October would be bullish, right? Remember that. Everyone thought October. Everyone thought, Q4 was going to be super uber bullish, but here we are in Q4, almost done with Q4, right? We're almost into Thanksgiving, coming into December, into Christmas. We get that little Christmas rally maybe. But next year, 2026, is literally 50-50 at this point. We could be on the fence, right? And I want to show you what that chart looks like, because I want to show you current charts in the market. Obviously, the big three: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, right? That's my big three. Obviously, you can throw Solana. Zcash is becoming really big too, really popular with their zero proof knowledge. But I'm just going to focus on these three right now. So let's hop into the charts and let me show you exactly what's going on. So here we have Bitcoin, right? This is Bitcoin chart right here. So Bitcoin, okay, it's under 100, right? Everyone, time to panic, under 100. Bitcoin is under 6 figures. Let's just sit back for a second and realize what you're saying. We were begging for 6 figures last cycle. We topped out at 60K. Before that, 2017 cycle, we topped out at 20K. This cycle, we may have potentially, not going to say we topped, but our high this cycle is 120,000 per Bitcoin. Tell me that's not consistent year after year gains. Bitcoin is a great store of value. Bitcoin will hold its value and Bitcoin will continue to grow. And I still truly believe in the next 10 years or maybe 15, whatever, in our lifetime, right? Next, let's just give it 10, 15 years, Bitcoin will be $1 million. I have no doubt in my mind. So if you're buying now, you're buying a 10x in Bitcoin in the next 10 years. That is very plausible, very possible. I have no doubt in my mind that Bitcoin is going to continue to rally because it literally is that standard, right? It's like digital gold. And as soon as governments adopt it, we get our Bitcoin strategic reserve. We get all these things coming into play. Bitcoin is currently owned and will be more owned by the government. Institutions are buying, like Michael Saylor. And I'll actually get into MicroStrategy because there was a big blunder there. A lot of FUD going on, but let me focus on the charts first. So Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is sitting here at $96,000. Bitcoin is 96,000. The world is panicking. It's over. Now let's kind of flip the script, jump back a year. Bitcoin was, I think, like 60, 70, and it rallied into Q4 of 2024 and it shot up above 100. If we were at 96,000 a year ago, everyone would be celebrating. So just because we hit a high and now we're correcting, which is normal in any market, like nothing can go up forever. Please, please, please remember that. Nothing will go up forever. You cannot just sit here and be a delusional bull. You have to be smart and understand everything is up and down, up and down. It goes up, fills the levels lower, then makes a higher low, then continues and makes a higher high, and so on, right? It's just like a heartbeat almost, and it's like a wave that goes up. So think of it as alive. This asset is alive. People are actively buying and selling and trading. You have news coming out that will cause price action to react. But always remember, price action dictates news. I have stressed this many, many times. What that means is that the price was going to fall regardless of Trump coming out saying tariffs are here. The price was going to fall regardless if Michael Saylor came out and said, oh, I'm selling Bitcoin. And I'll get into that because that was a whole thing. Actually, let's hop into that before we get to more of the price action, just so you understand the FUD that was coming out from the Michael Saylor side. So let me pull that up for you real quick. So coming here, right, looking at this tweet right here, you can see, okay, so let me zoom in here. So Arkham, which is a company that kind of monitors the blockchain and sees activity going on in the blockchain. So they are aware of, like institutional companies. So they know MicroStrategy's holdings, they know BlackRock's, they know so on, so on. They know everything, right? They can see it all on chain and they actively mark wallets as this is an institutional wallet, this is a retail wallet, so on, so on. So Arkham came out and they saw some selling coming from Michael Saylor's account, right? They're saying Saylor's cutting Bitcoin holdings by 47,000, meaning Michael Saylor is selling 47,000 Bitcoin, which is worth millions of dollars, and everyone's panicking, right? So look at this. Michael Saylor reduced his holdings from 484,000. That's how much Bitcoin MicroStrategy owns, to about 437,000, cutting it by 47,000 Bitcoin. So, and it's saying it's unclear whether this came from transfers or sales. This is first reported decrease since July 23. So back in 2023, we did see Michael Saylor sell off a little bit, maybe taking some profit, maybe using it for MicroStrategy. Who knows? But the weird thing is Saylor posted a HODL, which means hold on for dear life meme on X, and you that because that was also very interesting. But the thing that caused people to panic was the fact of the picture that he posted. So he posted a picture just like this. This picture is him showing a boat sinking in the back. So everyone's panicking like, oh, the ship's going down. Bitcoin's going to drop hard, big panic in the streets. That's not necessarily the case, right? This is not, oh, panic in the streets. He's just posting HODL, right? He's trying to make a statement that no matter what, if the ship's going down, I'm going to literally stay here in the ocean and I'm holding on. I'm not selling Bitcoin. I'm a warrior, right? That kind of stuff. So since that was the case, so now that we're seeing that, now if we come back to our previous tweet, as you can see here, Twitter or X comes in here and validates information from big accounts. So it's saying this is false, as Michael Saylor in his tweet this morning, that no transfers are happening. And below here, Michael Saylor came in and said, there's no truth to this rumor. So people are panicking. People are worried. People don't know what to say, but Michael Saylor himself is saying there is no truth to this rumor. So that just tells me that this is FUD. Michael Saylor probably isn't selling. Yeah, he sold back in 2023, but I don't think he has plans to sell right now. And even if he did, he constantly buys back up. So maybe he had to use it for MicroStrategy or whatever the case is. But this seems like coordinated FUD to me. Maybe just, again, like I was saying, the price action with the news just coming down. Maybe so Michael Saylor can buy more Bitcoin, or maybe institutions can get in, or maybe us retail should take advantage of this and buy the dip. Could be as simple as that. And it makes sense, right? Because if we're looking back on the charts and we're just looking at Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin here looks pretty good. It looks pretty attractive, right? I mean, we could consolidate here for a while. This is a bit bullish engulfing bar. So that means it could definitely continue back up, or at least test liquidity above 100K up here. However, if I go, this is the 4-hour chart. If I kind of zoom out and go on like the daily, it looks a little bearish, of course. I mean, it looks like we kind of rounded here, we rejected up here, and now we're just rounding down, and maybe we come down here. I did state this in my previous video. I am a perma bull, but I'm not gonna be a delusional bull, in the sense that I will tell you that Bitcoin has the possibility to drop. In my last video, I told you Bitcoin could possibly come to the 80K level in the 80s. So I could see it coming down to this, 85,000, 84. Very possible. And at this point, that's another 10K dip. So that would be a drop here. If we measure that from this point down here, that's another 12%, let's just say 12% dip. That's possible. That is very possible. I'm not taking that out of the cards. That would cause altcoins to fall even harder. Yes, and that could be painful. However, that could be the reset that we need, because maybe we actually form a bottom here and then just continue back up and make all-time highs. Or scenario B, we literally already bottomed and then we just continue back up from here. Because at this point, from the top to the bottom, we are already down 25%, which is a normal, healthy, even bull market correction. However, if we get down to that 85%, right, that would be 32, that's fine. But if we dip down here to like the 70,000 level, and if we go lower than 40%, in my opinion, I think that could be an indicator of a bear market. And I'm not a doom and gloom guy. I'm not here to scare anybody. I'm just here to tell you the truth. And I'm going to tell you, if it falls that hard, I would be cautious and think that we need more time to recover. That's it. That could be a bottom, but we could continue to consolidate for a little bit before we come back up. And that could take months, maybe up to a full year. I mean, who knows? In my opinion, it comes down to the super cycle. So a lot of people are like, oh, we're not going to have any bear market anymore. We're just up only forever. I don't think that's the case. I think we could have mini bear markets, in the sense that we have a bear market for a month or two, right? Or maybe 3-4 months, 6 months, maybe a year. Maybe our bear market lasts until the end of next year, and then 2027 is super bullish. But how I see it right now is all of this are DCA opportunities. Because look at this, right? Bitcoin's down here. So let me close out of that. Ethereum is down here, right? Ethereum's kind of hovering above 3K, but could very well fall to 2,500 to test this liquidity. Chainlink's gotten beat pretty bad, right? It's at $14. It was at a high of almost 30, right? 27, 28. But it had that flash crash, right? Everyone had that flash crash. That's what this was. And in Bitcoin, that's what this flash crash was. So we're actually lower than the flash. Remember, Link came down to $8, which was ridiculous. But now we're sitting at 14. And again, we could consolidate for a little bit here, or maybe just dip a little lower. Who knows, right? At this point, my strategy and what I recommend to all of you, and again, not financial advice. I do not give that here on this channel, but I would say just continue to dollar cost average. Simple as that. Dollar cost average, bring your average down, continue to buy dips on projects that you really believe in. Because if you believe in that project long term, you're fine. You're at a good point, nothing to worry about. But if you're panic selling and you're worried about the project because you saw an update, then maybe rotate into a better project, right? It really just depends on what you want to do. And I'm here to guide you. I am literally your compass in this market, so do not forget that. I'm here to guide you. I'm here to help you. All you have to do is blow up this chat. You can follow the link in the description below and set up some one-on-one time with me. I'm here to do all of that. And don't forget, I'm putting videos out like this. I'm trying to be a streamer. I'm trying to stream more, trying to give you this knowledge as the market continues to go. So please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Please support your boy because I'm here. I'm trying to make, a name for myself. I'm trying to get out there. So if you really like the content and you think that I can help other people, please help me push my name and help me move forward. I would really, really appreciate that. But yeah, that's what happened and that's what's going on during this bear market. But however, the government is also actively working, right? The government doesn't stop. The government was shut down. The government was shut down, but the government did open back up. So the government did stop, I guess, technically, but the government did open back up. Water break. And the government said the U.S. Senate releases crypto market structure draft, right? So they're literally coming out and releasing a bill to add more regulations or add more, I guess you could say, not necessarily in a bad way, but add more kind of knowledge to how they're going to deal with crypto, how they're going to allow crypto, maybe even taxes on crypto, stuff like that. Because a lot of it is very vague right now. Like people have no idea what's going on. Even the government doesn't even know about certain projects. You'll have these pump and dump coins all the time, like on Pump Fund, which is a launch pad on Solana. Anyone can go in and launch a coin, literally dump the liquidity and dump on everyone's head and just take the money and run, right? This is to make sure all of that is regulated. So this is a good forward in the health and the wealth of crypto itself. So I'm happy. I'm all for it. This should continue to happen, right? It should continue to go on. And speaking of that, right? So as all this is happening, Eric Trump came out and said, I still believe we're going to have a bullish Q4. I still believe we're going to come out here. Let's kind of look at what that video is and see if he's on to something, because he posted this well before the market dipped. And so far he's wrong, right? So let's kind of have a look at this, see what he says.
And the future is incredible. The future is bright. The future is incredible. And I think fourth quarter of this year is going to be unbelievable for a host of reasons. So super excited.
How do you think Bitcoin's going to go?
I've always said that I think in time, Bitcoin surpasses $1 million. I think with quantitative easing that we're going to have starting tomorrow when the announcement's made, and all signs point in the right direction, unless this guy's really off his rocker, but then he's going to just get laughed out of this country. But I think starting tomorrow, you're going to see right drops. You see what's happening with M2, which is, the money supply around the world, which is skyrocketing right now. Fourth quarter has always historically been, the best quarter.
Oh yeah, I'm going to stop it there. So yes, Q4 has been bullish, but this Q4, not so much. So if I pull it up, so Q4 Bitcoin returns history, right? It hasn't been the best, right? Historically, yeah, it's been great. But this Q4 has been pretty bad, right? Like we really haven't had anything to this screen, right? Everyone's bullish on Q4. Yeah, he's calling for quantitative easing. So I want to talk on that. That means the Fed is going to not go quantitative tightening, meaning they're more stricter on money. Now they're going to ease that process and have money flow back in as they're cutting rates. Yes, that's long-term bullish. However, it doesn't mean, everything's going to be great. It's going to solve all our problems. They're going to be printing more money, causing more inflation. Yeah, that's good, but that's more of a 2020 thing, in my opinion. That's what caused the big run in 2020 when we had that COVID crash and they started printing money like crazy, V recovery, stocks, crypto. That was a time to buy. In my opinion, if you held since then until now, then yeah, you'd probably be taking some profits. But now we're in more uncertain times and the economy continues to get worse. We have like war tensions. We have a lot going on in the world. We got tariffs. Like, this economy is very uncertain. It could get very bad. However, I do feel like crypto could benefit from all this because I feel like they're officially going to transition from a dollar into the digital currency. And that digital currency will be backed by blockchain. Remember that. Blockchain is the technology that's immutable. That is a public ledger that shows every single transaction, buy, sell, transfer, anything. It shows all of it. So you cannot hide. That's the thing. You can't hide from the government. You can't hide from other people. It's all public, which could be good and bad, right? Because the government having that much control over your finances and seeing everything, they could literally see into your bank account, which they could probably do now, but you can make a cash transaction outside of a bank and the government wouldn't know. But now, if everything's digital, if you made that same transaction, they would know. So keep that in mind. It's a little less privacy, sure, but it is the future and it will be very beneficial for crypto, especially Bitcoin and the majors like Ethereum and Chainlink. So I'm still bullish on the future. I feel like we're headed that way. That makes me bullish on crypto. But the economy right now, not so much. Not so bullish on crypto with the economy. And that's just because of the economy itself, right? That same thing goes for stocks, for gold, commodities, equities, everything. So keep that in mind as we're kind of running through all of this, that we are in uncertain times. However, we could come up on top if we continue to strive and continue to move forward in crypto. So coming here to the Q4, right? Looking at Q4. Okay, so 2024 Q4 super bullish. Remember, Bitcoin shot above 100K in Q4 last year. 2023 super bullish. 22 not so much. 2020 amazingly bullish. 2018, 2019 not so much. Those were bear markets after the 2017 run up. So notice 2017 was a huge run up. 2020 was the huge run up. This cycle, you could say maybe that was 2024 or 2023, but like these aren't really huge. These aren't above 100% Bitcoin returns in a quarter. So maybe we haven't had that big run up just yet. Maybe it's not in Q4. Maybe it comes Q4 next year, right? Very possible. But right now we're in a 15% dip. And last time we had a dip, maybe we get green the next quarter, but that means this quarter may not finish as good as we think. So maybe, just maybe, we just need more time, right? It could be as simple as that. Maybe we need more time maybe things aren't going our way. Maybe the market just needs time to mature. Maybe it needs time to reset after everything ran up already. But it is kind of sad because a lot of these altcoins did not make all-time highs. Yes, we had a meme season on Solana where people made a lot of money. We did not have an NFT season, which I feel like NFTs are dead, but maybe when a true bull market, volume could flow back into there. We're still waiting on airdrops from like OpenSea and MetaMask coming next year. So a lot of stuff is still in the pipeline. The government is actively working. Trump is actively saying like we are the crypto capital. There's nothing that's going to stop us. Crypto is going to be used everywhere, so on, so on. So I don't know. I mean, I can say right now, even me being in crypto for a while, these are uncertain times. I just want you to take that with a grain of salt, not to create panic, not anything like that, but just recognize that we are not in like certain times. We are not in a time where we can easily predict, one way or the other, right? Based on news or whatever else is going on. So take that with a grain of salt. Have a plan to hold your assets, believe in your conviction assets, and maybe buy on dips, right? That would be smart DCA. Or if you're really confident, feel like your asset's going to dip, sell it, buy it lower. That is risky, I will say, but if you're confident, go for it. Or you could trade it to the downside and short it down, use that money to buy up spot positions. There's many different options. So just keep that in mind as we're running through all of this. And again, right, there's different indicators like this whole McRib thing, right? This is just an indicator, but who's to say if it's even true, right? It's just something that we're putting out there and could not be true. Who knows? But one thing I do want to highlight is this stimulus that Trump keeps highlighting. So there was a note that came out saying the stimulus is going to be for individuals who make less than $100,000 a year, which makes sense. You don't want to give it to the super rich, and you want to help more the people that need it more. But another thing that was invented was these 50-year mortgage. Currently, we have 30-year mortgages. They're adding on 20 years to a mortgage. That's a huge red flag to me, like a huge red flag, because if you give out a 50-year mortgage, that comes back to things similar as 2008 crisis with the way they were giving out loans and, all that stuff. It wasn't pretty, right? Because imagine someone getting in a 50-year mortgage, they're paying a lot more interest over time. Like in addition, if you bought a house for, I don't know, let's say 200,000, if you're getting into a 50-year mortgage, you're paying more than that. You're more than double, like 300, maybe even 400. I didn't do the math, but like 300, 400,000 for that house over 50 years. Imagine you're 30 years old, you buy a house, you get into a 50-year mortgage. You don't pay off that mortgage until you're 80 years old if you're just making minimum payments. That's ridiculous. You only own one house, you're struggling to make payments, and when you're 80, finally, you can pay it all off. 50 years is ridiculous. And in my opinion, that's a huge red flag, a huge indicator that why are people doing this? What is going on? They clearly want more people to get in the market because the market is slowing down. Yes, they're cutting interest rates, but 50 years is worse. So this is the psychology that goes on. People are going to sit here and think, oh yeah, they're cutting rates and now I can get a lower rate per month if I do a 50-year. I'm all for it. But if you do the math and you truly understand what's going on, that 50 years is going to kill you in interest because of that additional 20 years added on to the 30 years. No matter if the interest rate is dropping, that's going to kill you. It's going to be really bad, like financially. So a lot of people will get stuck in this. A lot of them will end up defaulting on their mortgages, and it could cause a huge housing crash that honestly we've been waiting for. A lot of people are sidelined. A lot of people are waiting to buy a house, right? The rates of people 30 plus that own a home are significantly dropping, as well as even having a kid, right? The American dream, having a home, having a family, having kids, whatever, a job. The American dream is slowly dissolving away. And that is the crazy part. And everyone's just happy about this 2000 stimulus. These are all distractions. Like, wake up and see these are all distractions. 2000 stimulus, distraction. 50-year mortgage, distraction. On the back end, the government shut down for so long. Oh, everyone's going to say it opens, it's bullish. It wasn't, right? Even the stock market is crashing, right? So a lot of these are signs that a lot of dark days could be coming ahead. A lot of dips could be presenting opportunities for us. So when we get into these bearish markets, like we could be in a mini bear, stocks, crypto, commodities, whatever it is, it's fire sales to me, right? I'm happy I present these opportunities because I saw Bitcoin fly up to 120,000. I'm just sitting there like, oh man, I wish I bought more. Oh, Ethereum almost made an all-time high. Chainlink almost shot up to 30, right? I'm just sitting back like, man, I should have bought more at $10 or when it was under $10 or so on, right? Right now is your opportunity. Chainlink, $14. Ethereum, 3,200. Bitcoin, under 196, right? These are your opportunities. And if it goes lower, just buy more. That's it. Find a way to bring in revenue, get a job, do what you got to do, bring in that revenue and consistently buy these dips if you have conviction. Again, not financial advice, just something I want to tell you that would be smart, that when we resume the bull and we get back into it, which could be next year, could be as early as next year, and then we get airdrops coming, we get volume flowing to coins, to NFTs, to majors, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Link. Boom, we're going to be, full skies ahead. We're going to be feeling good at that point that everything is just going to be up only, right? Which is what we wanted and kind of what we saw last year, at least in Q4, but maybe we see a true bull run next year at some point. Given on that, right, or talking about that, right, I just want to say, like, it's hard right now, right? There's a lot of people coming out and predicting, and it's hard to say what's true and what's not. Like, this one person came out and literally said, like, this is not the top, right? This was a person that correctly predicted a previous run. So this person came out and said, the top is not in. This is on the 9th, which was literally, 6 days ago. Most of you will laugh right now and write this down. 2026 is the year of the horse, the year Bitcoin runs wild. Very possible Bitcoin just goes to 150, maybe even $200,000 next year. This is a little ridiculous. Bitcoin $1 million in 2026, Ethereum 100 in 2026. Me personally, I don't think that's going to happen. I am a bull, but in 1 year, Bitcoin is going to do a 10x. Maybe there's some factors that we don't see just yet in the economy, and it just happens overnight, right? We've seen talks about that with the government involving crypto, literally switching overnight, and then all these assets just 10x overnight. Maybe. I wouldn't deny it, but that is still very hard to believe, right? It takes years. It takes time to build something. You can't just expect it to go to the moon overnight. Just saying. Capital flow out of gold and into Bitcoin. This has already been happening, so that's a good sign. From there, it will cascade into Ethereum and then into altcoins. Yes, that's the normal flow. Bitcoin and then to Ethereum and then trickle down into altcoins. Bitcoin dominance can fall as low as 30%, which would be crazy for altcoins because Bitcoin dominance is basically a measure of how dominant Bitcoin is, right? If the money is in Bitcoin or if it's kind of flowing out into altcoins. So I don't know. I mean, there's a signal for the beginning of it all when the government starts printing again, the moment quantitative easing returns. That's the green light. That's ignition. So again, quantitative easing, they start printing money. They start bringing that money back into the economy. Maybe it is. Maybe it's as simple as that. However, I'm a contrarian to think in the opposite sense. So maybe that doesn't happen. Maybe everyone's thinking the same thing, so the opposite happens. So just like October, we had a huge flash crash. No one expected it. Everyone was thinking up only. I literally made a video about that, and I said, if everyone's thinking on it, I'm a little sketchy about it. I'm just a little sus that is this going to continue to go up? But maybe this happens. Maybe this time we finally get everyone to have the right consensus and it really does move forward, right? That would be nice. That would be great. However, maybe it doesn't happen, right? So, that's majority of what I wanted to cover today. I wanted to at least bring some bullishness to you and help you understand the market that we're in right now. We're getting different indicators like this, like quantitative easing. The McRib coming back is just a fun indicator, to be honest. I mean, there is no correlation between that. Even McDonald's tweeted at it and said, yeah, the McRib's back. Let's continue the bull. And Coinbase was like, yeah, let's do it. And sure, that's fun. That's a little fun indicator for crypto, but it has no relation on the economy. I mean, it's just literally a sandwich coming back for a fast food restaurant. That's all it is, right? Just fun and jokes. But things like quantitative easing and a stimulus check, airdrops, the 50-year mortgage, a lot of these different things are huge indicators, some good, some bad, but they definitely want to bring more money into the economy. So who knows? Maybe we continue back up. November, if we flip green, I feel like December will be green as well. If we flip it on the monthly, currently we're red on the monthly, and it doesn't look too hot if we're talking about Bitcoin specifically. But things could change in an instant. We could get some news. We could get some event that causes us to just erase these gains. Very, very possible. I would obviously invite that, but you never know. You got to play both sides of the card, right? Just remember that. You can't just be stuck on one side saying I'm bullish forever or I'm bearish forever. Play both sides. Right now, I'm cautiously bearish. So I will DCA some positions, dollar cost average, but I will be prepared for a further dip to just layer in some more. However, I'm not just not exposed. That's why I'm okay with adding at this level. And then if we continue up, then I'm okay because I already added at this level. Now we can continue up and continue our trend. So either way, win-win situation if you dollar cost average. That's why I always like to use that strategy when I'm getting into assets that I have high conviction in. And for me, that's Chainlink. I've been bullish on Chainlink. I am a Link Marine, probably till the day that I die, because I'm just that bullish on it. And that's just how it goes, right? If you're really bullish on Bitcoin, go for it. You're bullish on Ethereum, Solana, whatever, Cardano, XRP, whatever you guys really like, go for it. Like, you stick to your conviction, and in the end, your conviction will play out. You will look delusional now, but in the end, it will play out. So keep that in mind. Remember that. Let's keep our hopes high. Let's hope that the market just bounces back and we have a Christmas rally in December into the end of the year, and 2026 is just super bullish. That would be awesome. Or maybe we just finish this year bearish and then 2026, the new year, flips it bullish. Either way, we're here for the ride. We're here for the long term. Let's ride these trends and let's continue to ride it up. I will be here making live streams. I'm trying to do it more often. I'm sorry, I've been on a little bit of a hiatus, a little bit of a break from week to week. But I'm trying to do it weekly, trying to do it to a point where I eventually get every other day or daily. So continue to tune in. Please, again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, support your boy. Crypto Compass, until next time, thank you, Compass Cartel. Enjoy your weekend. And until next time, stay crypto, stay with the compass, and let me navigate you. All right. I'll see you guys later. Peace.